Hello students, I am Tanmay De and welcome to Sanjoita. In this video, you can learn to take dictation of the editorial passage. It is an editorial passage from the Hindu. Speed will be 80 words per minute, total words 820. As you know, readback and transcription are the two main key points to improve speed and accuracy in stenography. Also, if you know the meanings and outlines of some tough or difficult words, it will boost your speed and accuracy. For that, after the dictation, you will get meanings, outlines of some important words and the full passage. If you like my work, like, unlike, share, comments and subscribe to motivate. Now be ready. I will start my dictation after the countdown of 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start. In a short and well-reasoned order, the Allahabad High Court declared last month that religious conversions, even when made solely for the purposes of marriage, constituted a valid exercise of a person's liberties. The High Court ruled that the freedom to live with a person of one's choice is intrinsic to the fundamental right to life and personal liberty. In holding thus, the order recognized that our society rested on the foundations of individual dignity, that a person's freedom is not conditional on the caste, creed, or religion that her partner might claim to profess, and that every person had an equal dominion over their own senses of conscience. None of these ought to need spelling out in a secular democratic republic, not least over 70 years after its founding. But such are the times that we live in, with various state governments undertaking projects to outlaw what they describe pejoratively as, within double quote, Love Jihad, decode, that this decision is an important reminder of the Constitution's goal and promises. The High Court's order makes it clear that it is neither the province of the state nor any other individual to interfere with a person's choice of partner or faith. By invoking the Supreme Court's judgment in Puttuaswamy, the High Court held that an individual's ability to control vital aspects of her life inheres in her right to privacy, that this promise includes the preservation of decisional autonomy on matters, among other things, of, within double quote, personal intimacies, the sanctity of family life, marriage, procreation, the home, and sexual orientation, decode. The petitioners Salmat Ansari and Priyanka Kharwar had approached the High Court seeking orders to quash a first information report, within bracket FIR bracket close, that was lodged against them. This FIR alleged that a series of crimes had been committed, including one under Section 366 of the Indian Penal Code, which criminalizes the abduction of a woman with an intent to compel her to marry against her will. The petitioners claimed that they were both adults competent to contract a marriage and had in fact wedded in August 2019 as per Muslim rites and ceremonies only after Miss Kharwar had converted to Islam. They said they had been living together for more than a year and that their peace and happiness had been threatened by the prospects of prosecution. The state resisted these claims. It argued that Mr. Ansari and Miss Kharwar's partnership had no sanctity in the law because a conversion with a singular aim of getting married was illegitimate. In making this argument, the government relied on a pair of judgments delivered by single judges of the Allahabad High Court, in particular on the judgment in Noor Jahan versus State of UP within bracket 2014 bracket close. There, the High Court had held that a conversion by an individual to Islam was valid only when it was predicated on a within double quote change of heart decode and on an within double quote honest conviction decode in the tenets of the newly adopted religion. Additionally, the High Court had ruled that the burden to prove the validity of a conversion was on the party professing the act. Therefore, in Salmat Ansari, it was argued that it was for the woman to establish that her conversion was borne out in her conscience and out of a deep seated belief in the teachings of her new religion. The division bench rejected this theory. It held that the judgment in Noor Jahan was incorrectly delivered. Marriage, the High Court said, is a matter of choice, and every adult woman has a fundamental right to choose her own partner, even if such a decision encourages other concomitant decisions, including a choice of religion. The state can have little to do with it. According to the High Court, the Constitution is violated every time matters of intimate and personal choice are made vulnerable to the paternal whims of the state. Important as these findings might be, the verdict in Salmat Ansari is not a product of any interpretive ingenuity. Article 25 of the Constitution expressly protects the choices that individuals make. In addition to the right freely to profess, practice, and propagate religion, it guarantees to every person The freedom of conscience, by its dictionary definition within double quote conscience decode, refers to each person's own sense of moral right and wrong. It is an emotion that cannot be judged from the outside. It is certainly not something that the state can examine as a function of its sovereign authority. Moreover, the idea of protecting one's freedom of conscience goes beyond more considerations of religious faith. This much is evident when we ask ourselves why the Constitution accords any protection at all to religious beliefs. Contrary to religion is not because there is something innate in religious faith that demands special security. On the other hand, this liberty is promised because questions of conscience, which include choices of faith, are matters of ethical autonomy. The provision's ultimate ratio is to allow individuals the freedom to lead their lives as they please. Stop writing. Now you should read back and do transcription. Now I am showing you some important words outline. This is part 1. This is part 2. Now I am showing you the meaning of some important words. This is part 1. This is part 2. And this is the final part. You can write down these words, meaning and outline. It will help you to boost your speed and accuracy in stenography. Now I am showing you the full passage. This is part 1. This is part 2. And this is the final part. Thanks very much for watching. Take care.